Hello model railroaders, I'm Dave. Welcome back to the layout. We're back in my paint booth area, and today we're going to deal with a tool upgrade, and it's not to the airbrush itself but to the compressor. Currently I'm dealing with a Mastercraft compressor here. And this unit outputs about 112 decibels at waist height standing beside it in this room. And it is not very enjoyable. In fact, even upstairs, this compressor is substantially loud, even just the pitch that it's outputting. So, let me tuck that back in for the moment. So what I've acquired today is a ROK silent air compressor, and it's supposedly around 45 decibels. And since we know decibels are logarithmic, well, 45 is probably about the conversation level as I'm talking right now, supposedly. Now, how many feet away they were taking that measurement, that's the marketing gimmick. However, based on everything that I'm aware of other brands of compressors that have this similar style motor, we should be substantially less in the sound. So let's do an unboxing and get this open. The compressor came up on Busy Bee Tools in their sale that started today. It's regularly $149 Canadian, and I was able to get it for 20 bucks off. So any little bit off helps. So let's get this popped open, and this compressor here is 1.6 gallons and 0.65 horsepower, and I believe it is just over a gallon and a half as far as tank capacity, goes. So we've got a styrofoam bit at the top, which we'll get out of the way, and it looks predominantly like the compressor is all assembled as a first look. So let's pull it out of the box if I can. Styrofoam surface area. Those two out of the way. And the normal plastic wrap over the top. We'll get out of the way as well. So, weight, I'm not 100% sure. Here's our view of the compressor. We have our on-off switch here by the look of it, our safety release valve, our regulators, and our small tank. And let me see if I can get you a view of the specifications. Hard to see in the little viewfinder. There's the specs. I'll read them off to you just in case. So 5.5 amps, 60 hertz, one phase, 3 wire, 1.6 gallons, 1,400 RPM, It is saying a 50% duty cycle. Working pressure is 85 to 115 psi, max pressure 120, 120 volts, and we're giving 1.3 CFM at 90 psi. And it does look like it's got a start capacitor to it. So weight, it is not giving me a weight, but I'm going to say it's probably around 50 pounds, because it does have a steel tank. So let's get her undone. And I'm probably going to have to grab the manual. So let me pause at this point and just grab the manual. I'm not seeing the air inlet. There's a spot here on the end for the air inlet that is in the bottom of the box with the manual. So let me pause momentarily and we'll get the air inlet screwed on and give it a try. Back in a moment. And we're back. Alright. Apart from the manual, the only thing that was loose in the box was this air inlet and this hose, which was separate. From what I've read, that this air inlet, the way it's designed and with the hose, contributes to the quietness of the compressor overall. Now, I'm not going to test that out, but anything that will make it quieter is a benefit to me. Now, all I did was thread in some T-tape, and it's just hand tight there. On the compressor itself, down here you've got the moisture drain valve, and let's give you a better look at the model number and the criteria that's on the label. And so the drain valve is brass, and it looks like it's got a O-ring on the bottom. Now, to get the water out, I'm assuming the unit will have to be tilted over. However, yeah, I guess that's the brakes. At least it seems to be protected by the leg strut, that you can't break off the drain valve if it falls over or anything like that. Again, there's the start capacitor and the pump up top, and rotate it around a little bit, and there's our main tank pressure, and then our regulated valve for the output. Now, I will say that I'm hoping that it's very quiet, because I'm getting rid of my 2-gallon tank, or is it a 3-gallon tank? I do believe it's a 3-gallon tank. However, this line that's running in here, I've got a 5-gallon air tank that I chained up to give me some air reserve, and off of that I've got a regulator where I'm running my pressure usually around 10 psi, which converts to the airbrush hose here coming off the 1/4 inch NPT thread through an adapter up to the airbrush. So I'm really hoping that the loss of my capacity does not impact my operation, though if compressor runs quiet, what I'm having to do right now is shut this compressor off. I actually turn it on, leave the room, and when it shuts off, come back in the room and turn it off so that it's not kicking on at 90 psi. And just to give you an idea how nasty loud that is, let me pull up a app on my phone, and so this sound meter app, just me talking, is ranging between 50 and 70 decibels at this volume. Now I'm going to very briefly turn the compressor on, so beware of your ears, and I'll leave it on for like 3 seconds and then shut it back off. So here goes now. So as you saw, that was 115 decibels. So that's a very loud and annoying noise. So let's get that one unplugged, and we'll plug in this guy. Whoop! Didn't realize I had the switch in the on position. Let me get that in there, and I'm going to turn it on. So right at the unit, we're about 90 decibels. And if I go head height, we're about 80 decibels. So not as horrendously quiet, but because the sound is logarithmic, let's leave the room. 80. So it's in a sound box. Well, right there was the, as far as decibels go, it was at the loudest as part of me speaking within the room. So that is definitely a more there's 60 decibels. So that 48, I did read somewhere on a unit. Oh, that shut off very fast. So just as my talking right now, I'm getting anywhere between 50 and 70 decibels. So it is as quiet as a conversation, which was nice, and the small tank pumped up very quickly. So overall, I'm very happy with the purchase so far. I'll give you a shot of the manual. So the ROK model number is 10925.65 horsepower, and the weight is 33 pounds. So lighter than I thought it was. But that gives you all the information. I was unable to find any reviews of this specific model. online, so I'm going to follow the instructions. It does say to run it with the drain valve open, so that at least I believe that's said when I quickly looked at it. They want you to do a little work-in period prior to filling the tank up. So I'll do its break-in instructions as per the manual, and then that's right here on the installation. I can get the light so that it's not shining as necessary. Yeah, so that's the about installing the air filter, and startup. That's probably what I'm looking at. Yeah, first time you start the compressor, let it run for 15 minutes with the air cock completely open. After that, close the air cock, which I guess is the drain valve, and check the compressor pressurizes and the air tank switches off when maximum pressure is reached. So just a little bit of a work-in. They do say in the manual that they have tested it at the factory for what that's worth. And here's a shot. So we did pump it up to 120 was the cutoff, and I've got the regulator all the way out here. So let's see what the regulator's all the way in. Looks like that's maxed out there. Let's see. Yeah, it's just 115, 120. So it looks like that's going to be the max output without a tool on there, but I'm not hearing any leaks. Off camera I will go over the unit and with some soapy water just to check the fittings, though I'm not hearing anything currently. The drain definitely, little pressure relief, definitely lets go well. So I'm going to hit that again. So it was a little right at its trip point, I guess. Surprised me that it was so easy to pop at the upper pressure. Definitely got the heart rate going a bit when you're not expecting that sound. But overall, everything seems to be working correctly out of the box. So I shall follow the manual and give it its work-in and do a leak check on it. And after I've used it for a bit, I'll come back and do a review and let you know how well it's working, how it's pumping up my secondary tank. And I'm not going to time the pump up as we were doing the decibel reading. It pumped up and shut off, it seemed, with only a few minutes because of the size of the tank, and with my adding in a 5-gallon tank on top of that, it's going to change the normal setup time. But so far I'm very happy with this purchase. So till the next video, I'm Dave, and bye for now.